Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. Regular viewers will know that I review many photographic, audio and video related products. Today isn't a review. I'm actually taking a look at the dynamic range on the Olympus OM-D EM1ii, which is a bit of a mouthful, but that's what it is. This is my regular go-to camera. This is a camera I use when I want to just go out and about, get some great images. Now, I don't know how good the dynamic range is on the Olympus. I've never really experimented with it. I know the Sonys are extremely good, particularly the A7R III and the A7 III is around about 14, maybe 15 stops of dynamic range. With the Olympus, being that it's a micro four thirds sensor, you wouldn't expect it to be quite so good, but I tell you what, the images that come off this sensor are outstanding, and it's a great camera to use. It holds really well. The grip is my favourite. The grip is outstanding. 3-inch articulating screen, etc, etc. There is a review on the OM-D EM1ii, which I'll have linked up in the corner somewhere up here. Now, getting back to this camera, we went to Avebury, which is a village of stone circles, basically, here in the UK. And we went there just to get a few photos of the stones and the scenery and what have you. And here's one, I've put them into Lightroom. Now, here's one that we've got that's come straight out of the camera. They're all RAW files, so I don't shoot JPEG, I shoot RAW, which enables you to drag more out of the image. So here's one that I took in Avebury, the church. It's not very exciting. You can see the sky is completely blown out. Naff all detail in the sky whatsoever. I've exposed for the brickwork of a church. But in Lightroom, wow, look at that. That's amazing. I mean, it's overcooked. I know all of you photographers out there would say, well, that's well overcooked. That's not what Lightroom's designed for. That's how I like it. So, you know, that's a wonderful thing with photography. It's how you like it. Unless you're producing work for clients, you've got to produce work that they like. You know, that goes without saying. Otherwise, you don't get paid. But look at the amount of detail that you can pull back out of the sky. Now that's, I don't know what dynamic range that is, how many stops that is, but that's phenomenal. And that's achieved in Lightroom. Lost me mouse. Going to develop. Now in Lightroom you've got a command called dehaze, and all I've done is pretty much whacked up the dehaze filter. So you take it down, it gets very hazy. Take it up. Wow, look at that. And I have mucked around with the whites and the shadows. So as you can see, bringing the shadows up, it brings the shadow detail back up into it. Look at that, that's awesome. And then if we go back here a few, is it about one? So you look at this one. That's how it came out the camera, which is not really that good. There's no detail in the trees. The sky again is all washed out. Adding a bit of dehaze. Look at that. And increase the shadow details. So you've got more details in the shadows and more detail in the cloud. So, you know, Lightroom is tremendous. I think it just goes to show again, even though I've overcooked it, it goes to show that micro four thirds, even though it's a much smaller sensor, a lot smaller than the full frame sensors, you can create some great images. And that'll print A3, well, that'll print twice the size of A3, that'll print A2 without any, you know, any serious issues. There are other examples here somewhere. Before, after. You know, again, look at that, a really flat sky. Not an interesting image to look at. Well, it's not that interesting anyway, but it's not an interesting image to look at. But look at that, look at the deep richness of the sky. And look at the stonework. Again, I have to stress, I do overcook these images, but a lot more, you know, if you put a bit more effort into it in Lightroom, you can make you know, you can make subtle adjustments without having to go into the, you know, as much as I've done here. And it's great. See, look, even just adjusting the whites, you see the, look, it's washing out the clouds there, bringing the cloud detail back in. You wouldn't know there was detail there. This is the beauty of shooting in RAW. In JPEG, you would have a pig of a job to do something with that. But in RAW, look at that. Wow, it's got all the detail there. Love it. And then there's probably more examples here. There's one. Again, look what I've been able to make that sky really interesting, you know. If we look at what that was when it was imported. No, it's filters. History, sorry, right. That's how it was when it was imported. Very flat, indeed, and then that's what I've achieved with it. Tremendous. So back to our church, as you can see, it's with dehazing and without. But as I say, that wasn't really a review. That was just my thoughts on how wonderful this camera is, and I guess a lot of the other Micro Four Thirds cameras. I've used lots of them, but primarily for video. This is the first one I've actually loved taking photographs with, and I can highly recommend the OM-D EM1 Mark II because I love the camera. So there we go. That's the OM-D EM1 Mark II, and how good the dynamic range is, really, and what you can do with it. I say that is overcooked, but there we go. So there you have it. That's my thoughts on the Olympus OM-D EM1 Mark II, and I love it. I use it a lot. It's my, as I said earlier, it's my go-to camera for taking out and about, and it does take great images. I was really impressed when I first saw the images that come off this sensor. So yeah, Micro Four Thirds has got a lot to offer, and this camera has a lot to offer. Great handling, great images. So there we go. That's my thoughts. Thanks for watching this video, and I do hope you find these reviews, these tutorials, these insights of interest. If you do, please hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done so, and hit the like button, and tell all your friends. That'd be fantastic, and look forward to doing the next one. Thanks very much. See you soon. Bye.